Hello and welcome to another Ask Cheeky. I'm Isaiah Henkel with Cheeky Scientist. Today's question comes from Aretha Jason. Aretha says, I recently had an interview and everything went well, but I didn't get a job offer. The only thing I can think of is I didn't know how to answer, why do you want this job? Aretha, thank you very much for sending in your question. This is one of the most common interview questions you're going to get. Why do you want this job? Yet, most PhDs are not prepared to answer this. And before I tell you exactly how to answer that question, I want to back up a little bit into this line of questioning. Okay? Interviewers are going to ask you questions to gauge how certain you are that you want the position at hand. Their biggest concern is not that you're not a good fit for the job. That's their second biggest concern. Their biggest concern is that you're the right fit. They're going to go through all the work to prepare a job offer, to interview you, to train you, etc. And then after spending all of that time and money, you're going to decide this job's not really for you. That's their biggest concern. Okay, so again, their biggest concern is that you are uncertain about this career path. So they're going to test you on your certainty. One of the ways that they test you is by asking, why do you want this position? They want you to tell them, why do you want this position? Why do you want this position over any other position? You need to prepare that in advance. And it's very easy in terms of preparing this. Even if you're considering other jobs, other positions, find out why this company is better than others in certain areas. Every company has pros and cons. Create a pros and cons chart. Focus on the pros of this company. That's why you want to join this company. That's why you want to get hired into this position. And this helps it stay authentic, right? No company is perfect. They know what their strengths are. So do your research, dig in, find out their strengths, and tell them their strengths as the reason why you want that job. Another test, the second thing that they're going to ask you during an interview is, have you been interviewing anywhere else? Now, you might think that they're asking you this question to see, for social proof, to see whether or not you're actually wanted by other people. And you're going to think, oh, I better tell them that I'm interviewing elsewhere because of that reason. But that reason is secondary. The primary reason they're asking you this is because they want to know how certain you are about this job. Okay? They're concerned that if you're interviewing elsewhere, you might go elsewhere. At the same time, though, and this is the line you have to walk, is you want to show them that, yes, you're not a sure thing in terms of they're going to need to give you a good salary offer. Yes, other people want you. There's social proof that you are a desired candidate, but they're your number one choice. So you have to make sure you come back to that. You say, yes, I'm interviewing, but this company is my number one choice for XYZ reasons, and this specific position is my number one choice for XYZ reasons. Finally, you have to show them certainty in terms of the position that they're offering you, even over other positions they might offer you. Okay? Now, this is a tricky one to balance too, because you might have employers seriously decide while they're interviewing you, mostly at smaller companies, that, hey, maybe you'd be better in this position. After talking to you, we have this other opening. What do you think about this? You need to respond carefully either way to this kind of questioning, because they might be testing to see if you're just willing to accept any job, right? How seriously have you considered this position? How certain are you that you want it? So the best way to respond is say, I'd be open to exploring other positions. However, I'm really interested in this position for XYZ reasons. I know that I'm a perfect fit for this position for XYZ reasons. However, once I'm in this company, if you thought that my skills, my resources, my strengths could be used elsewhere, I'd be interested in hearing more, right? And that's how you can leave it open-ended. You can leave it on them, but show them that you're committed to doing your best work for the position at hand, that if they extend a contract to you, they spend all of that time and money. And by the way, the average that it costs to bring on a new candidate is $60,000. So that's why they're testing your certainty. No matter what happens, show your certainty of the position, and this will help you pass the next interview and get a job offer. Hopefully this helps you, Aretha. As always, remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.